That is the box empty, more or less anyway. There are some wires in there. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the free trading game collection challenge. There are 38 other episodes in this series, so if you want to know how this all works, go and check out that playlist. And of course, if you want to subscribe, you can. It's free, and of course you can turn on the notification bell and everything, and you'll get notified when I upload videos. It's not like in the old days where I used to upload 4 videos a day. You only get notified every few days this time. My goal when I first started YouTube was to reach 100,000 subscribers. We are very close to that, and honestly, that's the only goal I had. It wasn't I want to do this for a living. It wasn't this, that, and the other. It was I want to reach 100,000 subscribers. That was back in 2012. That was my overall goal. We are very close. Can we make it happen? Please, if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. Anyway, in this series, we look to build a video game collection for free. Basically all this was acquired through this series. Not one thing that you can see here did I own beforehand, or at least didn't own and then incorporate into the series. We go out and source deals, whether it be individual games or console bundles and things, and then we sell part of that on to make the money back, and then whatever's left over we take into CEX, we get credit, or we put it into the collection if it's something that I want. I'm not in the habit of collecting just games for the sake of collecting games. If I have it in the collection, I want it in the collection. That there, by the way, is going. It will sell. That isn't part of the collection necessarily. It's just I need to keep it somewhere, so why not keep it there? That is Wii Sports Resort, but it's still sealed, so hopefully it'll go for a pretty penny. That was last episode or episode before. This episode is a bit weird. It is a mystery box, essentially. So if you had reached out to me ages ago and said, hey, I've got a GameCube and a few games and a load of PS1 stuff that I'm looking to get rid of, would you be interested in buying it off me? So I said yes, and one thing led to another. Unfortunately, it just fell through. So he reached out to me recently and said, I've got a box all ready to go just for random stuff in it. Do you want it? Because otherwise it's just going to, whatever. It's just going to go in the bin, or I'm going to give it away somewhere else. So I thought, yes, I will. I'll take it. Now, I don't normally like doing this because I want to try and keep this series as relatable as possible. This isn't really relatable. Some people may give you things along the way. It does happen. But 9 times out of 10, this kind of stuff only happens because of the position that I'm in making videos. So I won't do it a lot, but in this instance, we're going to do it because otherwise it would have just gone in the bin or just given away really, really cheaply on eBay or something. So it is a box full of random stuff. We're going to go through it together. I'm going to try and be as quick as possible doing this because the box does have a lot of stuff in it. So we're just going to flick through the games. This little stack that I have in my hand, this is all the stuff that's going to be traded to CEX, and it is trade worthy, like the discs are in good enough condition. So up first we have Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix. Like I said, if I'm not feeling the game, it's going to go in. A lot of people will be like, no, I want that in my collection, but I don't want it in mine. So that will be traded in. The trade price will be on screen for you right now, of course. I'm not going to show you clips of all of these because we're running through it so quickly. I already have this in the collection. That's Burnout 3 Takedown. Again, the disc is in tradable condition. None of these games trade in for a massive amount, unfortunately, but it does add up. Next, we have 50 Cent Bulletproof. Not really one to be into the 50 Cent games. There's a really expensive one. Is it Blood and Sand? I think it is on the 360. That sells for like 25-30 quid. That, unfortunately, does not. 3 games left in this little stack. This, I think, has been made popular by the movie that was released recently. This is Dune. Yeah, it doesn't really interest me at all, and that's why it's going to get traded in. I think it's got a little bit of value to it. Up next is a game that I was tempted to keep, but I don't know if I'll ever play it, and that is Fahrenheit. Again, PS2. It looks alright, and it obviously does have some good things that have been said about it, but it's just not for me. And then finally, in this little bundle, we have Shadow of Memories. Again, PS2, and the final one for the PS2 for now. That I think trades in for like 4 or 6, one or the other. So a decent little stack to get things started. None of those are going to make it into the collection, mainly because we already have Burnout 3 Takedown. Otherwise, it would have gone in there, obviously. And the rest of them will give us a nice bit of credit. On screen is the amount of credit that little bundle will get us. Now we need to move into the rest of the box. So 2 games very briefly that are not worth trading in and I don't want in the collection. So it's one of those that are just going to go on the shelf next to me, and I will wait until we pick up a PS2, and then I will bundle them with a PS2 to help it sell a little bit better. First up is going to be RC Revenge Pro. It doesn't trade in for enough to warrant trading it in, so again, it's just going to be a bit of fodder. And lastly is going to be Van Helsing. Again, just a game that doesn't really... I just don't care. Again, they're both trade-worthy games, to be fair. That one's got a few scratches, but it should be fine. And the RC game is actually in pretty damn good condition, but I don't want them, and they don't trade them for anything, so they will be fodder. So normally I leave things like consoles to the end, but I'm going to just do the console now, because there is a console in this box. It didn't look that big.
That's what she said!
And it was really heavy, and like I thought, wow, what the hell has he got in here? Opened it, it was like stacks of games, and then I found this. So this is PlayStation 1 controller. Now this isn't the DualShock controller, so it is going to trade for a little bit less. And I say trade because yes, we are going to trade it in. It comes with an official PS1 memory card, which I'm tempted to keep, but that alone trades in for £4. They sell it for 10. Who's buying that for 10? I'll never know. And then of course the console itself, which is wrapped in this stuff. Obviously it will need to be tested and stuff, but I would imagine it works, otherwise why would he send it to me? It's got discolorization going on. The bottom of it is the original colour, and then the top of it is I've been in the sun too long. I don't know if you can tell the contrast difference, but I don't know whether that will change the fact that they will trade it in or not. I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see. Do have the AV lead and the power cable in the box as well, but you know, everyone knows what they look like. It's not the digital like the AV one, unfortunately, because I think they trade in for a little bit more. But that, hopefully anyway, if it's working, we'll trade in for 33. I want to say 33. I might be wrong in saying that. Maybe that was the Wii. Maybe this trades in for 23. This might trade in for 23. If it was the dual shock, like the analog stick one, it might trade in for a little bit more. But there we go. And then of course this memory card trades in for 4 as well. So that's not bad. Now I have an absolute stack of PlayStation 2 games. There is other stuff in here as well, which we'll go through in a second. But a stack of PS2 games that, again, I'm going to flick through very, very quickly. These are all staying. Some of them, I don't really want them on this platform. I do want these games, but I want them on the 360. Some of them are sort of later generation. We'll get to them when we get to them. But up first, we have Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Every PlayStation 2 collection needs the Grand Theft Auto set, and now we have Vice City, and oh, hang on, we already had Vice City, so that is a double, which means that has to go in the... Will it trade? Maybe I put it in this pile. Maybe I don't know, actually. Let me check the disc. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna... it might. If it trades and it's worth more than £1, I might trade it in. If not, it's going to go on the shelf with those other two games that you just saw, and we'll use it as fodder. So unfortunately, that's not the game that's going to go into the collection. This is, though, Sonic Heroes. Got to have a Sonic game in your collection somewhere or another. To be fair, I'm looking to try and collect as many Sonic games as I can. Some people like Mario, some people like Sonic, some people like both. I'm kind of partial to both, but if I had to choose, it would be Sonic. This game, I've been looking for it for a while. I've seen it in a few places. CEX had it for, I think, £6 to £8. I didn't want to pay that. It is Crazy Taxi, and it's Black Label as well. It's not Platinum. Big fan of that. One of the greatest games of all time. Obviously, in an arcade setting is so much better, but that is an absolute banger. Up next, gotta have this, Gran Turismo 4. Not a massive fan of it. 3A spec is a lot better. Do we have 3A spec? We do have 3A spec, so that will go alongside that. I'm going to have to rejig the shelf a little bit. Oh my god, the camera nearly went flying. We have another GTA game here. This is San Andreas. I don't think this is in the collection. It isn't. We have 3 in Vice City. Now we have San Andreas. Is that it for PS2? Oh, I think there's another one in it. Vice City Stories, I think, might be on the PS2 as well. But that is a banger. It's going into the collection. Up next, love a bit of The Simpsons. Unfortunately, it's not hit and run. It is The Simpsons game. I've not played this on the PS2. I played it on 360 very briefly when testing the machine in Game Station. But that will go into the collection as well. Up next, a game that I never played, and I'm a bit ashamed of it. But again, it's one of these ones that I'll keep for now, but I want it on the 360. The Godfather. That is unfortunately not as expensive as it would be on the original Xbox. For some reason that tends to go for a bit more, but you've got to love the artwork of that. That is a banging looking artwork. If ever I've a banging looking artwork, that is banging looking artwork. Let's just put it in the collection and move along. We have 2 of these, I think. So up first is Stuntman. don't think that came out on the 360. I might be wrong, and a lot of you might be going, no, it did. And I know what you might be thinking. It's not that game. It is... Where is it? That game. That one. Stuntman Ignition. That came out on the 360. I want that on the 360 because it'll just look better and run better. But, yeah. If you have Stuntman, do you need the second one on the same platform? Does that make more sense? It's my collection. I'll do what I want. I'm probably going to get rid of that at some point in the future to replace it with the next gen one, but it is what it is. For now, we'll keep it. We have a Killzone. I don't really want it, to be honest, but it's not worth anything, and I like it enough that I'll keep it. You know, it's kind of one of those like staples that you kind of have to have, even though I didn't ever play it, and I don't know if I ever will, but it's there, and you know, I may give it a go at some point. Up next we have Unreal Tournament. I'm a massive fan of the Unreal Tournament games. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I love the 360 version of Unreal Tournament. I think it's Unreal Tournament 3, but a nice one to have. Then, oh no, hang on. Before we get into those, it is a racing game, kind of. It is the original Burnout. We have 3 takedown. No, that's it. We only have 3 takedowns. So we have Burnout now. There is obviously Burnout 2, something Impact, I think it's called. Is it just Burnout 2 Impact? I can't remember. Is there another one? Let me know. But that goes into the collection. And then we come to the 3 games, one of which I don't really want full stop, to be honest. But you know, you kind of have to have it if you're collecting this series. We have 3 of these that I want on the 360. But we have them on the PS2. I'm going to go in order of release as well. So first we have Need for Speed Most Wanted, which is arguably the best Need for Speed game there is. I disagree, actually. I think it's Underground 2, but you know, each to their own. I do like that game, but again, I think I would want it on the 360. Then we have, this is actually, I prefer this one to Most Wanted, Carbon. I know a lot of people didn't like this. I thought it was very, very good. Again, I had it on the 360, played the hell out of it. Big fan of that game. Again, I think they're all complete. Manuals and everything in good condition. And we're going to keep that one. And then finally, for the PS2 stuff, and that's it for the PS2 full stop, we had Need for Speed Pro Street. This was not a good game. I did not like this at all. Had this on the 360. Obviously went from playing Carbon like every minute of every day to this. Trash. Did not like this game. But, as I said, you kind of have to have, and it is complete, you kind of have to have all of them if you're going to collect the series, really. So it is nice to have them on the shelf, like Need for Speed, blah, 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 blah. It's not like FIFA. You know, if you see a shelf full of FIFA, your heart sinks a little bit. You see a shelf of Need for Speed, it's not as bad. But that is the stack that we're going to put into the collection. No Platinum games, which I am a huge fan of, because I hate Platinum. You know, that silver bit there, I hate the fact that that's a white case. But, you know, you can't really do much about that. Same with the black cases. I would prefer them all to be blue. But that will go on the shelf somehow. Then we move into PS1. Now, I've made a decision recently. PS1, I'm only going to collect very selective games because it's not really... I mean, don't get me wrong. I played it a lot as a kid. And I do have like a big nostalgia feel for PS1 games. But there are a lot of PS1 games. And I don't really want to have shelves and shelves of them. So I'm only going to collect the ones that I really, really, really want. Okay? So, the ones in my hand, they're all Platinum. And they're all going to be traded. They're all trade-worthy. I'm going to flick through these very, very quickly. We have Tomb Raider 2... is it actually called? Yeah, Tomb Raider 2 starring Lara Croft, as if it could star anyone else. What else do we have? Do we have another Tomb Raider? We do. We have another 2 Tomb Raiders. So I started with Tomb Raider 2. I'm going backwards. There's Tomb Raider 1. Again, they're all Platinum, so if I am going to collect PS1 games, they are going to have to be the black label. I don't want that horrible grey or silver. That is Tomb Raider 3, by the way. Originally from CEX, has the label. Well, they can have it back. That will trade in for a decent amount. That is the first 3 of the Tomb Raiders. Then we have Spyro. So up first is going to be Year of the Dragon. Again, like I said, all Platinum. Then we have Spyro 2, which again is Platinum. All, again, trade-worthy condition realistically. Depends who I get in terms of staff member. And then, finally, Rayman. Those are the only trade-worthy games. Now, what I mean by trade-worthy is that they give me enough to warrant taking them in. Some games only trade in for 10 pence. Some trade in for 80 pence. I don't really think that that's worth it. I could probably get more online. Those are going to trade in for more than £2 each. So that's what I'm going to do. So that is going to go with the other stack as well as the PS1. And then finally, this is the final stack of games we have here. They're all PlayStation 1 games, as you can see. What do we have? Now, I'm not necessarily keeping all of these. These are the ones that are either possibly going to make their way into the collection or will just get sold or bundled with a console, if indeed the console doesn't trade in. Up first, we have a very unimportant game, really. Porsche Challenge. Have played it. It's okay if you like a little bit of racing in certain cars and things, but if you're ever going to play a racing game on the PS1, it's got to be Gran Turismo for me. And on that note, we have V Rally. Not a bad game if you like rallying, to be fair. It's not terrible, but again, it's platinum, so I can't really see me keeping that. Monopoly, actually a big fan of this game, but on the PS1, maybe not so much. This, I'm fed up of this, honestly. Every time you go on a plane, that's all you ever do is play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Will I keep it? Maybe. Don't know. Ask me again another time. Again, this is platinum. This is Worms. I'm a massive fan of Worms. I love playing this as a kid, but because it's platinum, I can't really bring myself to keep it. I hate that on a shelf. It looks horrible. So I don't think I'm going to be keeping that. Again, none of these I think are really trade worthy, except maybe this, but because it's Black Label, I think I'm going to sell it. It is going to be Tomb Raider 2, but it is Black Label. I know we already had a Tomb Raider, but he has a lot of games, so that will probably find its way to being sold rather than being bundled with a console, because it does have a value of about £10. Then a game that I actually might keep, despite the fact that it is platinum, it is International Track and Field. Big fan of athletics. And this game I remember playing a lot as a kid, so even though it's platinum, I think I probably will go back and play this, and I'll make the exception. Up next is going to be two Black Label games, actually. One I'm going to keep, the other one not so much. Spec Ops might go for about £4, £5 if I'm lucky. It is Black Label, it's in relatively good condition, so you never know. And the game that we're going to keep is going to be WWF SmackDown. Spent a lot of time on this game, not as much as I did on the Attitude game with Steve Austin on the front, but that is a bit of a banger. So to be honest, I think only those two are going to be kept from the PS1 bundle. Big stack to trade in that we can get games that we actually want to put into the collection. And then this, I'm either going to try and sell them individually or I'm going to bundle them with a console. But that is the box empty, more or less anyway. There are some wires in there. Oh, one other thing. I'm going to keep this, I think. This is a Jaguar PS1 memory card. Now, had it had the little, like, there's meant to be like a Jaguar symbol there. If that was there, that would be a £10 memory card. That's crazy. But other than the wires for the PlayStation, the box is now empty. Now, I have had another message from Rob who says that he has another box that he's willing to send me, because this just, a lot of it is fodder, right? So he's more than willing to send it to me. I already accepted the offer. Don't know when that's going to be here, if it will be here, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know what's going to be in it, because he's been very vague about this one. So that could be pretty cool to open, because there's a few gems in here. We're going to pad out the PS2 collection massively, and then the PS1 collection is going to help us get some credit into CEX. So I do apologise if you don't like this kind of thing, you'd rather see me go out and source stuff. We are still going to do that, obviously, but if someone's willing to send me a big box of games, no questions asked, it's very hard to turn that down. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. In the next episode, you will 100% see me go into CEX with the Wii, with all these games and the consoles and things, and we're going to get some credit, and we're going to spend it on some games. My local CEX has some nice games that I really want, so we're going to definitely pick those up. If you haven't enjoyed it, do me a favour and hit that like button. Remember to subscribe, and until the next time, goodbye.